Hello viewers, my name is Luigi Means Me, and welcome to my first Let's Play on Spyro the Dragon. Don't know why I said first, this is not my first Let's Play. I have been doing LEGO Dimensions over with Emily, who you will notice is not here today. This is more or less a test of a new recording method, and I decided to play one of my top favorite games of all time. So, we are going to just go ahead and hop right into this. New file. This is, of course, Spyro Reignited on the PlayStation 4. I decided it would be best to record it on here. Running this through a PlayStation 5, so hopefully we get a little bit better performance boost. Let's go ahead and hop right in. In the world of dragons.
Okay, rolling.
It's been peaceful here in the Five Worlds, or is it six? For a dragon's age, we now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000?
What about this Ganasty Ganok character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature.
Simple?
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom.
No threat?
Besides, he is ugly.
Ugly? That does it!
Huh? Looks like I've got some things to do.
Alright, so that is a great introduction to our lead villain right there already. In the original, for those of you who don't know, because you may not have played it, that was not shown on the TV. There was no explanation for why Nasty was able to see that whole director thing going on, but they kind of retconned that in the Reignited trilogy, and in my personal opinion, made it a little bit better. So, our first example of enemies are the Norks here. This first one here is known as a Bag Nork, I believe. You have to attack them 3 times, and each time they will drop successive amounts of gems. Gems are one of your major collectibles in the game. They're vary in range from world to world, but on average they'll be between 1 to 400 of them, depending on the world. Your other major collectible is these guys, dragons. They were put into crystals by Nasty Nork, as we saw in the opening, and it is our job to free them.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the Artisan world, then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Hey. Every single dragon has a unique name, design, and little conversation that they will have with Spyro, which adds a little bit of personality to it. After you rescue a dragon, a fairy will show up in its place that you can talk to, which will allow you to replay the cutscene in case they have important information you'd like to rewatch. I will be allowing every single dragon to talk, just for the sake of making this as complete as it can be. So let's go ahead and rescue this one over here and see what he says. Delbin.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
That is correct. Our little buddy here is Sparks. He acts as our health meter in this game. Oh, are these guys not going to attack me? Well, alright then, I'll find something else to demonstrate this with. Sparks is our health meter, As we take damage, his color will change to indicate how much health we have left. He goes from yellow to blue, blue to green, and after green he will vanish. If you take damage when you do not have sparks, you will die. In order to revive him or increase his health, you have what's known as these fodders. Each world has its own different set of fodder. For the first world it is sheet. Namely, it's just small little creatures that, when attacked, will drop these butterflies that Sparks can eat for health. As you also noticed while I was doing that, water is deadly to dragons apparently. Our little buddy can't swim. So, don't jump in the water if you know what's good for you. Sparks also serves a secondary purpose that makes you never want to lose him. As a little tool to help you out, he will pick up gems if you are close to them, so you do not have to be spot on when collecting them. It's a nice little feature, and it makes you very happy he's around. In developer interviews, this was stated to be done because they wanted a way to implement collectibles all over the place, but didn't want it to become too much of a hassle, so they implemented Sparks to kind of negate that by making it so you can pick them up from a little further away. What we just got there was a skill point. There are, I believe, 16 of those in all. In order to check them, what you must do is, if you're playing on the PlayStation 4, click the center pad. On Switch, it is the minus button, and on Xbox, it is the select button. This will bring up your atlas. You get a list of all of the worlds within the current home world that you are in. On the right side is the collectibles for the world that you're currently in, or whichever one you select. In this case, the Artisan's home world. We have 100 gems and 4 dragons. You have the option to warp to different worlds, which is not something that was in the original. And if you press triangle, you get a list of skill points. There are 2 pages, and it gives you the world that it's in and what you have to do in order to do it. I will be doing every single skill point in the game, so don't you worry about that. Along the top as well, you can see full-on totals. You can see we've been going for about, 3.5 minutes. We've rescued 2 dragons, gotten 42 out of 1,200 gems. And there's that third collectible there. We will go into that a little bit later once we actually have one. Right over here, we have one more dragon. Sheep got in my way, hang on.
Cool flash. Do that again.
The Artisan's boss is through a portal in the Dragon Mouth, but you are not yet ready, Spyro. First, you must complete one of the other Artisan lands.
He is correct. There is a portal back here. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. No, we're not able to see that. There is a portal back here which leads to our first boss world, but we must complete one of the other levels to do that, and I will be saving that for later anyway, because as you imagine, the boss of a world should be fought last. My plan for every single home world is to kind of clear out the home world first before moving on to the sub-worlds within it, I guess. I don't really know the better word for it. It's just personal preference. I like to complete the home world first, make sure that's all done. Over here is our friend the balloonist.
By rescuing 10 dragons, then you may use this balloon to fly to a new world.
So just like our dragon friend told us at the beginning, if we rescue 10 dragons, we'll be able to use this guy to move on to the next world. Once again, I will not be doing that until I have 100% the previous world, just because why move on if you have other things you can do? As Spyro said at the beginning, I've got some things to do. We got a portal over here for the Dark Hollow. We'll be skipping over that for now until I clear out the rest of this world. We also passed by this one earlier for Stonehill. Likewise, going to save that for later. We go down here, see if there's any more dragons to be rescued. Ah, right on time. Thomas.
Hey, Spyro, press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks? Plummeting into prehistoric glaciers?
Oh, that.
And with that, we see a little pop-up at the bottom of the screen saying all dragons found. It's a very nice little thing. It lets you know when you're done searching, so you don't have to immediately pull up the pause menu to check. You just automatically know. We got another one of these bag Norks here. It's got a little bit more of our treasure, so we gotta defeat him here. And then what we have over here, oh, we'll grab the gems first. I want to make sure those are all done. What we have here is known as a whirlwind. If you hop in it, you automatically get brought up right to the top. We got a third world here, Town Square. That is going to be one we tackle a little bit later. Then we got some pillars down here with a few more gems on them. If you're gliding in midair and you would like to immediately drop so you don't overshoot your target, hit the triangle button. That will cut your glide short and drop you right as a rocket. You see we got the same pop-up there for gems with a 100% level complete pop-up showing up right after that. It's a very nice little thing just so you know you're done. You don't have to worry about it or constantly check the menus like you did in the original. So let's go ahead and hop into our first level, Stone Hill. As I said earlier, this is running off of a PlayStation 5 with the internal SSD, so load times will hopefully be faster than what you would see normally. Load times is one of the few issues I have with this game, just compared to the original, but what can you do? It's a lot flashier. One thing I do like, though, is that you can kind of move Spyro around. You can do little twirls with the bumpers. It gives you a little bit to keep you entertained, just so you're not just staring at a screen waiting for it to load. Don't know if I like it better or worse than what the original did, though, with all the gems flying over the screen, tallying up what you have and haven't gotten. If we check our skill points, we can see Stone Hill does have one. There's one for burning a hidden pink tulip. I may have a bit of trouble finding that one. I did not refresh myself on where it was before I came in here, so we're gonna hope that I don't get too hopelessly lost with it. I think I have a vague idea of where it's at. These goats here, they're gonna try to charge you, so hold down the square button and show them who's boss. Your charge is better than theirs. These sheep, once again, getting in my way. I don't know why I keep hammering them. I knew I forgot one over here. One little trick I need to mention, this was not in the original, so if you are playing the original following alongside me, you will not have access to this. But if you are playing Reignited, go ahead and click in the left stick whenever you don't know where the last few gems are in the world, and your little buddy Sparks will point right to them. Once again, not a thing you can do if you happen to lose Sparks, so try to always keep up his health if you can. Just Sparks is so helpful. He's one of the best tools that you can get in any sort of game ever. Being able to collect things from further away, extra health, and a tracker.
Or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Gotta get used to not talking over the dragons, because I normally do when I play this game. Normally I'd actually skip it, just because I'm so used to it. Gotta remember not to do that here. It's gonna take me a bit. This is actually my first time ever recording alone, so I'm gonna have to get used to that. The only ever time I've recorded has been with another person in the room.
After you've freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya!
Just like any bratty kid, no one ever wants to listen to the stories of their elders. They got too much shit to do. If we head on down here, we get a little bit of a secret beach with some collectibles down on it. This is one thing I see stump a few new players, so it's good to point that out. We have a new collectible here, which is a key. Each key unlocks a secret lockbox somewhere else in the world for a little bit of extra gems. And not quite every world has them, but it is a common collectible, so you're going to want to keep your eye out for them. Down this well here, you actually can come down here. This is where your lockbox is. This is what they're going to end up looking like. So if you see one off in the distance, you know where you're going to need to go. And then we got Gavin here.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong, like me.
Sure.
Alright, we got friggin' tattoo dragon over here. I can't say he didn't look awesome, but not something I was expecting to see today. Yeah, as I went over earlier, Sparks' color will change depending on how much damage he's taken, so keep an eye on that. If you played this on the original Japanese version, I say original Japanese version, the Japanese version was a port, there was an accessory that would allow you to raise your own dragonfly, not Sparks, but a different dragonfly, similar to a Tamagotchi system. This could connect with the game and unlock a few little things, but the most important thing it could unlock was being able to take an additional hit, being able to turn red on top of the normal yellow, blue, and green. Was this really that important? Not really. This game's not that hard if you know what you're doing, and the checkpoints are lenient enough to where even if you do struggle, most of the time you should be fine if you end up dying. We take the whirlwind up here, we get Gildus. Ooh, that's a cool name.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the jump button at the top of your jump, and try pressing the action button to drop down mid-flight.
I'd have to play the original again to check that. Did they say action button in the original, or did they say triangle button? I think they may have switched it to action button in this one because when Reignited came out, it was on both Xbox and PlayStation on launch day, so they wanted to cover their bases since there was no triangle button on the Xbox. What we've got here is a bandit. What you're supposed to do is just chase them down and give them either a horn to the rear or a little bit of flambe. I tend to prefer the flambe option because I get a little bit of extra range on that. Every bandit you catch will drop a dragon egg. That is that collectible you saw earlier. They do show up on your little marker here, so keep an eye out for those. There are, I believe, 12 of those in the game, and we'll see what those do a little bit later. Now, up here, I believe somewhere around... Ah, here it is. There's that hidden pink tulip that we were told to grab for a skill point. Every skill point will grant you with an additional life, and after completing a whole page of skill points, you'll unlock a little bit of concept art for the game. So, if it's something you care about, I would recommend going for them. If not, I'd recommend at least going for the easy ones, just because they're easy lives, like that pink tulip one just now. If you see it while you're walking past, go ahead and flame it. You'll get an extra life. Some of them you'll end up doing without even meaning to, just in the course of 100%. Other ones you will have to go a little bit out of your way for. Yeah, you'll notice I've got 9 gems left, and all the dragons. This is where that Sparks tracking feature comes in handy, specifically on little open plains like this, where they tend to hide gems over crests in the hill. It helps a lot when just trying to scour around and find what you need. And it's just a very nice little quality of life change they added into the remake that they didn't have to do but was very much appreciated. And it helps that all 3 games were built on similar, if not identical, frameworks for the remake, which made it very easily to just port over features from games 2 and 3 into the first game. Another one of those things being the skill points, actually. Those were first introduced in Ripto's Rage, but were backported into the first game for Reignited. Now, this dragon over here did mention that we have a return home portal here. You actually don't have to take that if you don't feel like it. If you complete a level, you can just pause and exit. You will keep every collectible you have, and from then on, you don't have to return if you don't want to. But with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end off the first episode here. We cleared out both the Artisan's Homeworld and Stone Hill. And I think next time we're going to go ahead and take on Dark Hollow. I have been Luigi Means Me, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.